The Small Business Big Marketing Show, well, it's made possible thanks to 52ways.biz, an amazing one-day event hosted by small business expert Dale Beaumont, and past guest to this show, by the way, for business owners who want more leads, more time, more profit. You can grab your free tickets to these live events that are going around Australia in the next few months at 52ways.biz, that's 52, before it's too late, because seats are limited. And we're also brought to you by Cornerstone, an Aussie-owned family-run offshoring business based in the Philippines, who can reduce your running costs by 70%. Book a free feasibility assessment with founder David Warren by calling 029083 6689 or visit cornerstonebusinesssolutions.com.au. With a solid offering and a leader in her field, today's guest was wondering why sales were down. Then she uncovered two simple marketing strategies that changed everything. And guess what? Sales are through the roof and she's on fire. Not literally, but boy, is business good.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to another episode of the Small Business Big Marketing Show. I am your host, Timbo Reid. You, infinitely more importantly, are a motivated business owner, and you're here ready to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And that's why this show exists. That's why I do what I do. If it's your first time around, welcome. If it's your however many time around, welcome back. Love your work. Hey, big show today. Rebecca Coomes from The Healthy Gut joins us to share how the combination of an ascending transaction model and the creation of helpful content has grown her business exponentially. Brilliant story coming up, because she's been quite sick in the first 36 years of her life, and now she's got a business that is anything but sick. That'll all become clear shortly. Hey, resident tech expert Dale Beaumont drops in to share another productivity tool to make your business life infinitely easier. I share another low-cost marketing idea, and we go back into the Small Business Big Marketing Show's vault, revisiting an episode when I had a chat with Amanda Stevens, Australia's leading expert on that incredibly difficult topic, marketing to women. Okay, as per usual, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. Hey, thanks for all the great feedback on Dale Beaumont's new segment, in which he shares a productivity tool to take your business life to, well, another level, but to generally just make it a whole lot easier. And yes, I know it's a silly but fun introduction to the segment. Expect nothing less on this show, really. In fact, given you love it so much, let's see what Dale's got for us today. Life just got a whole lot easier.
Hi, Dale Beaumont here from 52ways.biz, the best one-day business workshop ever, with another productivity tool to make your business life a whole lot easier. This tool is called Hotjar, and Hotjar is a free service that you can add to your website. Now, once installed, what this product can do is it can find out a whole lot of information about what is happening on your website. You can find out how many people are coming to your website, what pages they're looking at, how long they're spending on each of those pages, where they're moving, where they're clicking, and also what it can do is record a video of every single person's user session. And then you can go back and watch these videos to learn what's working and what's not working on your website so you can make some powerful changes. It's a great tool and it's available for free. So why not go and check out Hotjar today? There you go. I told you life would get a whole lot easier. This has been Dale Beaumont from 52ways.biz. Now, Back to you, Timbo.
Life just got a whole lot easier. Brilliant tip there, Dale, yet again. I do love my singing in that intro and outro. Don't care if anyone else doesn't, but I'm sure you do. Puts a smile on your dial, right? Now, as you know, one of my ongoing mantras for small business owners, or business owners of any size really, is to never, ever stop learning. So I've got to encourage you to get along to one of Dale's live events. Tickets are free, and it's 8 hours of solid business building content. Get your words right, Timbo. Content. In fact, in 8 hours, Dale shares 52 ways to boost your profits. If anyone can do that, it's Dale. So grab your free tickets at 52ways.biz. That's the number 52. Hey, speaking of live events, there's still a few seats left on my 4th Create Freedom Through Outsourcing tour to the Philippines on May 1 to 3 this year, 2017. And you'll find all that info over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/tour. Now, let's meet today's successful business owner. I saw Rebecca Coomes speak a few weeks ago at a KPI event, and she absolutely blew me away. In a nutshell, Rebecca is a marketing consultant, don't switch off, who has been chronically sick all of her life with a gut condition that no one seemed to be able to cure. Now, after years of trial and error, she's got it under control. Not only her health and well-being, but her business. In fact, her marketing consultancy is taking a back seat to her new business, in which she's become the world's leading patient expert on a condition called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Got that? Now, Rebecca's personal journey is interesting in itself, but wait until you hear how 2 simple marketing strategies skyrocketed her business. One's called the ascending transaction model. The other is simply creating helpful content, of which she is an absolute machine at, and she explains how she does it. I started off by asking Rebecca to explain how she went from being a lowly marketing consultant to a world-leading expert on SIBO.
Well, it was my own personal journey, as is often the case with so many businesses that evolve, where there's a complete void of any service or solution for people when they go through a particular experience. And for myself, I'd been chronically ill for 36 years. I had been told many times that I had irritable bowel syndrome, no known cure. They kind of didn't really give me any advice on what I could do, and I just had to deal with it. Or the flip side was that doctors would run various blood tests and come back saying you're in perfect health, there's nothing wrong with you, perhaps it's psychosomatic, perhaps you're just a little bit of a stressed out woman, and chill out.
Wow. Hello to all you medical professionals.
Yeah.
Just 36 years. This is from birth, right?
From birth, yeah. I was 2 months prem and was had a tough start to life, was formula fed, was allergic to the formula and cow's milk, which the doctors in the 70s thought that was better than breast milk. And
no big M's for you.
No big M's for me. Well, having said that, I was drinking dairy and eating dairy because you need your calcium, don't you, Tim?
Oh, well, I certainly. Mum told me that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd be very unwell from it. But yet, you know, the wisdom of the doctors back then was you must drink dairy. So how
sick are you in this time? Are you getting sicker, and are you
I was getting sicker.
Incapacitated?
So I spent many, many months of my life in bed. What would happen to me was that I would come down with whatever cold or flu or virus or kind of nasty infection was doing the rounds, but I would get it the worst, often to the point where doctors would be deliberating as to whether they should take photos and put it into medical journals. And that happened every single time. So I lost a lot of school.
Awkward moment when the doctor says, do you mind if I take a pic of this?
Yeah. And a classic example was I had chicken pox, and it looked like smallpox, and I didn't have a single scrap of skin that wasn't covered, and it was both internal and external, so my eyeballs were covered with it, all in my nose, my mouth. It was awful, and I was very unwell for weeks with it.
And you are trying to run a business. Is that right? You're running a marketing consultancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had gone out on my own a couple of years ago with the view that I wanted to get a better work-life balance, which is...
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Worked harder and longer hours for less money than I'd ever worked.
Okay. Welcome to small business. Have a nice day.
Exactly. What was I thinking? And my parents are small business owners themselves, so I knew exactly what I was in for. But it was at that time that I was really sick and I was feeling, there was nothing I could put my finger on, but I was lethargic. I was bloated all the time. I was having trouble going to the toilet, so I had chronic constipation. I was getting every cold and flu going, despite eating a very healthy diet.
How are you running a business?
Pure adrenaline, and I was starting to burn out.
What was the adrenaline? Just the excitement of actually having your own business?
The excitement. I love winning clients. I absolutely love the thrill of the chase.
Love it. And
then I'd have to deliver on all these new clients that I was winning. And It
would have been so much easier if you were in corporate, because you could just go, I'm sickie, I'm having a do today. Yeah. Another one. Good on you for kind of raising the small business flag while you're crook.
Yeah, and I've got a really good work ethic, so I don't call in sick. So even when I was in corporate, it was very rare for me to be sick. I had to be really sick to call in sick, which is possibly my undoing. Maybe if I'd gone to bed quicker, I might have recovered quicker.
Have you ever had the man flu? Or you wouldn't have had the man flu,
No, there's no such thing as man flu for us women.
Rebecca, there is, and we'll talk about that later. Just let me make a note of it. Rebecca doesn't think man flu exists. What rubbish. It's worse than childbirth. Hello to all you women out there. Sorry. So you're running this business, which is a marketing consultancy, which is still kind of happening a little bit for you, isn't it? But you have slowly become the world's leading expert in SIBO.
Well, I am the leading expert from the patient's perspective.
Go with world leading.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm the world's first author of SIBO cookbooks.
Right. So tell me about that moment when you're running the marketing consultancy, you are crook, but you find cures, right?
Yep.
You start to get better. And then at some point you've gone, I'm actually getting better after being sick for 36 years. This is going to be my business. Is that kind of what happened?
It kind of. So after the diagnosis, after finally finding someone that knew enough about gut health and knew about SIBO, that about 4 weeks into the treatment, and it was a 6-month treatment for me.
Can you just explain SIBO? What is
it?
it?
SIBO stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth.
And that's what you were finally diagnosed with?
I was finally diagnosed with it. It is incredibly common but not well known, and it is one of the leading causes of irritable bowel syndrome. And it just means that you've got bacteria from your large intestine or your large bowel has migrated up into the small intestine where it's not supposed to live in big numbers, and it causes all sorts of havoc. One of the most common things it does is cause abdominal pain and bloating and issues with toileting, either constipation, diarrhoea, and food sensitivities. Now, anyone that experiences those things, and there'll be plenty of listeners that do, quite often SIBO is the underlying culprit. And many people have gone through years of, looking for answers and being told it's irritable bowel syndrome. So I do implore anyone listening to go and get it checked out, and they can find out more in my books and my website. So as I was going through this program, the first question I had for my naturopath was, where can I buy cookbooks for this very restricted diet that I now have to follow for a short period of time? And she said they don't exist. So that's when I saw an opportunity. My marketing brain switched into gear.
Yeah.
And I saw that there was an opportunity to develop cookbooks. I couldn't believe that no one in the entire world had done it yet, and they still haven't. I'm still the only person, and I've got 3 books out now. And so I started documenting my recipes. As soon as my cookbooks went out, my first cookbook went out, people from all around the world started contacting me saying, thank you so much for what you've done. You've helped in my life. I can eat better now.
So this was your first step, is that right, Rebecca?
Yeah.
In kind of becoming this patient expert in SIBO. SIBO.
Yeah.
Is the cookbooks. You've just gone straight in, I'm going to write a couple of cookbooks.
Yes.
Right,
just like that.
Why not?
And I did my first cookbook in a month.
Yeah.
So I went from 0 to completed, published cookbook in a month.
You're a cook?
I'm a passionate home cook.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're combining a whole lot of loves and passions.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Yes.
So all of a sudden starts to flood in. People are going, how are they finding you? Did you have a publisher or did you self-publish?
No, I've self-published.
So how are all these people finding you?
through my website and social media.
Okay.
So I was out actively communicating and networking with people on social media platforms.
Yep.
And then I'd also built up my own, I'd built my own website and built my own social media channels. And so people were finding me through those places.
Okay.
And I was also doing some promotions where I was giving books to influencers and
Nice.
yeah, and then giving them as giveaways so that they'd talk to their communities about
Type of
it.
influencer?
Health and gut health type people.
Right. So a naturopath or a
yeah.
psychologist or
Generally
whatever it may be.
naturopaths.
Naturopaths.
And I also took a big chance and I put myself on a plane and I flew to the US and I attended a SIBO conference. I literally turned up knowing nobody, and by the end of the conference I had networked my little butt off, and I had not only built a relationship with the leading US specialist but also the leading Australian specialist, and then a whole variety of other doctors and specialists who have now come on to my podcast as speakers, which I then decided at that conference, I think I need to be podcasting.
So much to talk about.
Yeah.
Just hold your thought as to that journey that you're on. You're a workaholic, aren't you? I just want to understand your
I'm
mindset
a total
bit
type
more.
A personality.
Are you right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like there is no kind of binging on Game of Thrones for you. It's like, no. I'm going to write another book tonight.
Yeah.
Is that kind of your thing?
It
okay,
is.
because you've got a whole marketing, you've got clients in your marketing business. You're now writing a cookbook in a month. You've now got 3, and you are prolific in your content creation, which I want to talk about. But I think it's really important to understand that you are type A. You're just non-stop, right?
I am, and I'm an all or nothing person. I'm either lying flat on the couch doing 0 or
Yep.
I'm 100% into something. And I find it hard to be somewhere in between.
Yeah, right.
And so I have had a really busy 18 months where it has been to the detriment, I've got to be honest, of my social life, because
Yeah.
I have spent 7 days a week pretty much for the last 18 months working.
Yeah.
But I'm so passionate about what I'm doing, and because I'm helping people's lives and I'm getting that feedback from people that I'm changing their lives through my content, it gives me so much motivation to keep going. And my vision is that I am able to support the reduction of disease and chronic illness and obesity in the global populace. So that drives me every day to
Does
keep
it
going.
worry you that you're not getting out more? Or are you just you're so on fire that you're having a ball anyway?
I'm so on fire that I absolutely love what I do. I wake up every morning so excited.
I can see
to
it
do
in your eyes.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely adore it. And I don't want to be doing anything else.
Right.
If I'm not doing something towards my business, then I kind of feel like I'm missing out,
Right.
because I love it so much.
Okay, good. So, back to the journey, because you are you're writing books, you're becoming prolific in social media, commenting around SIBO and SIBO, and you're getting books out to influencers, so a bit of influencer marketing. At what point is this part of your business starting to take over from the marketing consultancy?
Well, it has. And I've had to make that decision where I become incredibly selective of the clients I work with.
Why would you continue to take marketing clients on, just out of interest? Because clearly this is going to, these 2 books and everything else that come with it, it's got to take over.
And there will come a time when that does happen. To date, the income that I've been able to generate through my marketing consultancy has been greater than what I've done with the Healthy Gut. However, that is quickly changing, and I foresee by the end of this year that my marketing consultancy will probably no longer exist.
I wonder whether, not that you suggest you stop it now, but I wonder if you stopped it right now, whether that income from SIBO would very, very quickly, like even quicker than it's going to, replace marketing consultancy. Okay. What else have you been doing in that kind of journey of becoming the patient expert?
Well, one thing that I've realised through this experience that I'm very good at is developing relationships, and so I'm just on the cusp.
Just not personal ones.
Just not face to face. No, I love people, but I'm just on the cusp of finalising a deal with a US-based company who are taking my books to America.
Of course you are.
And so that's incredibly exciting, because there's estimated 100 million Americans with this condition. So I don't even need 1% of the market
No, you don't. No.
to change my life.
0.001 would be fine.
Exactly.
Goodness
So So
me.
that's I'm flying to the States tomorrow, actually, and we launch officially on Saturday at a conference.
Thank you for coming in and doing this,
My
given that
pleasure.
you've had to hop on a plane. Goodness me. Listeners, I'm talking to Rebecca Coomes, who's a world-leading patient expert on SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, who's gone from being a marketing consultant to now becoming this expert and creating a business from it. What's been the toughest part of this journey? Because it feels like it's getting easier now, despite the workload. But what's been really hard?
I think the early days were the hardest, where I had no one on a database, I had no one on social media channels, I had a vision and I had very strong belief that this was going to be successful, but I had no evidence that it would be. And I poured all of my money into producing books, which are incredibly expensive, especially full-colour photographic books.
They're beautiful.
And I had to take a massive gamble, and I'm not a natural gambling type person, so it's been quite scary at times because I've thought, what if it fails? Yep. So that's been the hardest thing.
Can I just say, we just had a successful business owner in previously, had the owner of Stone and Wood Brewery from Byron Bay last. I've had, you'll be my 358th successful business owner, and every single one of them has asked, what if it fails? Despite them being like 5 years into the journey and making $1 million. It's like pretty common.
Yeah. And now I can see I can see where it's going, and that there is evidence, and especially with this US partnership with this business investing in my business, which demonstrates that they can see value in it. Now I don't have that fear like I did. It was just those early days, and particularly changing from my marketing consultancy and putting a lot of effort into the healthy gut business. My marketing consultancy was earning me a really nice income, but I was a one-woman show and I was working really long hours. And was my passion like it is for the healthy gut? Not necessarily.
Yeah, right.
And I'd had some tough clients that perhaps weren't the right fit. And there were days when I'd be like,
marketing.
oh gosh, what am I doing this for?
Tell me, you had a core product offering with the SIBO business. What was the core product? Was it coaching? Was it the book? It was coaching,
It's
right?
coaching.
It's coaching. And it's expensive. Well, it's not cheap, right? And it was a tough sell. Am I right to say just going right to the market with, hey, I'll coach you through your SIBO problems?
So when this all got birthed through me doing a program called KPI, and in that program they talk a lot about your ascending transaction model and your core product.
Yeah, great.
And
explain it.
The ascending transaction model is that you start with a gift or something that is zero money or zero time, but lots of value, and you move into a product for prospect, which takes some time or money to invest in, and then that steps you up into the core product. And it's like taking people up a set of staircases so that they're not just slammed with a very expensive product, which I realised I'd been doing with my marketing consultancy. I was like, oh gosh, I was offering this very detailed and brilliant service, but I was charging a lot for it, and I didn't have an ATM model sitting there behind it. So when I started up the healthy gut business, I thought, right, I'll do it right. So I set up an initial coaching program, but I wasn't known. So the value that I was offering didn't seem great because
nobody.
No, I was just a nobody.
Yep.
So I actually
a sick
had
nobody.
A sick nobody. Getting better nobody. So I actually had to put the core product on hold, and I've only just launched it in the last week. And I went and spent a lot of time, energy, money, and effort on my gifts and my product for prospects. So building the cookbooks and my product for prospect gifts. I've run a lot of workshops where I'm out talking to people all the time about gut health, and then doing things like my podcast. I've run a SIBO cooking show on YouTube. All of this free content that people can gorge on.
So can we just understand that ascending transaction model? If we were to look at it as a funnel, can you just go through each layer of that funnel and explain what is the offer? And when do we start paying?
Yeah. So at the very top of that funnel, the most broad section is your gift, and that's where you don't ask for anything. It's just freely available. So things like podcasts or YouTube shows or blog posts, that type of content is all your gift.
Yep.
And people can go and gorge on it as much as they want and not spend a single dime. The next step then is your product for prospects. So you're just going down into that slightly skinnier part of the funnel. That's where either you need to spend time, but ideally you want them to spend some money as well. But it doesn't need to be a lot of money, anything up to about $1,500, $2,000.
Oh, okay, so that much.
Total, which is still a reasonable
Yeah, it
amount.
is.
For me, my product for prospects being my cookbooks, which are $32.95. I've done workshops, which might be somewhere between $65 and $100. So they're all pretty low value costs, really, in the scheme of things. And then moving into your core product, where then that's where you can charge some money. So my coaching program, which I've just launched, is $147 a month on a rolling monthly subscription. And I've literally just opened up bookings. I alerted the community to let them know it was coming, got people to sign up to register their interest.
And just on that thought, you've been in your podcast, YouTube channel, you've been capturing email addresses, so you've been building a database. So
yes.
Then, okay, all right. So then you're going out to them now and saying, coaching's open, $147 a month.
Yep. And without having to work too hard, people are signing up, which is awesome.
Do you love it?
I'm so excited because it didn't happen last time. So I think timing is really important, and making sure that you've got the right amount of value sitting out there and that you're known. The other thing that I've done is I've partnered with these specialists, so they're telling their communities about what I'm doing. Leverage. And that has such an enormous impact on my reach.
So all very well to partner with specialists, but some of these naturopath and medical type people, they're not easy to get, and they're being hit from all angles. But because you have established profile with your podcast and YouTube channel, your books, they're kind of sitting up and taking notice. Come in, Rebecca.
They are, definitely. And because I'm the only one doing what I'm doing, and that I've done it at a really high quality, they're happy to be part of it.
Yeah, right.
And when I've first gone to them, it has been to interview them about their particular specialty on my podcast. And they get great airtime, and my reach is enormous on my podcast in a very niche market. So there's now a little bit of competition amongst the specialists that I'm hearing, that they want to come on my show. So they're asking me to come on, which is wonderful.
Beck, you are talking my language, hey?
So it's been a long process, and the type A in me wanted it all to happen immediately. And that was a challenge, to slow down, let the process evolve and let it kind of organically grow. And now that I'm at a point that I wished, 2 years ago I wanted to be here, but I'm really happy with how it's turned out.
So have you at the pointy end of your ascending transaction model, is it the coaching program at $147 a month? Because that sounds cheap, but obviously on a volume.
Yeah.
And you're delivering it, by webinar and email and pre-recorded videos. And so then the aim is to then have 100, 1,000, 10,000 people paying $147 a month.
That's right.
Where will the hammock be? On which island?
I'm not sure yet.
I think you do. I think you know.
But the next step for me in that ascending transaction model is what's called product for customer. And so that's where you then offer only customers an exclusive and highly valuable and highly sought after product.
Right.
And for me, that's going to be retreats, SIBO retreats, where you as a sick person can come to a very beautiful location. All of these amazing specialists will be there, and you are completely pampered, because the one thing a sick person that's not dealing with food very well wants is to be able to relax around what they're eating. So completely tailored diets to you, and learning how to relax and learning more about your condition. So that's the next step, which I've got in the works. Which
could you imagine owning your own resort? Could you imagine you can?
Yeah,
can't you?
I can.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Many wouldn't.
Yeah, and I've also got plans to, in the future, have fully integrative medical clinics where you can come and have everything done, and all types of modalities treating you.
I'm breathing shallowly right now, just thinking about, the possibilities, the workload. How many on your team? Don't say it's just you.
Well, I have a great team of contractors that I work with. I don't have any employees. But I did a wonderful post for International Women's Day recently, and I realised that there's 7 of us awesome women from all around the world, Canada, Spain, the UK, here in Australia, and also New Zealand. And I also get to work with my gorgeous sister, who does all of my podcast production and music composition, and my parents support me as well. So it's become a family invested business in the sense.
You're not living at home, are you?
No,
you are, aren't you?
No, I'm not. But my office is actually in my parents' home office. And their garage has become my book storage unit.
Right, it's all part of the story.
It's
all part of the biography when it comes out.
It is, totally.
Everyone's operated out of their parents' garage at some point.
I think you have to start there.
Yeah, correct.
Surely
correct.
everyone's
There've been a lot of guests who have.
Yeah.
So tell me, there's a lot of people listening who are going, okay, she's an A type, but I'm not like her, and I want to binge watch everything. And your product creation ability is prolific. I mean, I was just, listing them when I was doing some research. You got 3 cookbooks, you got the cooking show on YouTube, you've got the podcast, coaching workshops, you're speaking, you've got ebooks. It's quite prolific. And I've got to say, well done. And you are a marketing person, but your branding is beautiful. It's consistent. You spend the money on the photography, on, a lot to be learnt around that. But how? How does the mere mortal, the vet that's listening, or the plumber, or the accountant, kind of get this product creation mindset going?
I think having the right people that can help you. So I haven't done all of that work on my own. So I've got an incredible graphic designer who makes everything look beautiful, and she's very aligned with my vision. But I'm also not scared to tell her when I want things to change. And I'm a stickler for design because I am a marketer after all. I think also becoming really clear on what it is that you want and understanding the challenges that your customer faces. They will tell you very clearly what products they want you to make. And I've listened to my customers. So
tell me about listening to your customers, because it's all very well to one customer say, I wouldn't mind an ebook on, cooking with pulses. Do you then run off and make a cookbook on pulses, or you need 100 people to say that?
I will ask my database, and also I'll put questions on Facebook groups.
Yeah, right.
And Facebook communities are wonderful because you can just go in and I'll pose questions like, what's the one biggest thing you wish you could change about having SIBO? And I'm being cheeky because I'm mining data there.
Yeah.
But they tell me exactly. And so I think most people will have some form of platform that they can go to. And given that I had 0 people on my database, I had to start from scratch. And something that I did to get people on my database was that I created my first cookbook. It was an ebook before I printed it. And I went into one of those forums and I offered it for free. I said, download my entire cookbook for free. And then
no exchange of email?
Well, they needed to give me an email to get it, but there was no monetary exchange, and that's how I commenced the database being built. And then through that, word of mouth spread, and then I contacted naturopaths and told them about the book as well. And I partnered with the Australian specialists. So I think that, starting from scratch, the first thing I always say to my marketing clients is, what are the problems you're solving for your customers? Get really clear on that, because they will give you a blueprint of the products you need to create in the future. And by going out and asking them specific questions, what keeps you awake at night? What do you wish you could change? What's the one biggest challenge that you face? That gives you the answers. If you ask them, what do you wish you had? Quite often people can't tell you the future state, but they can definitely tell you the pain points they experience every day. And I ask those questions.
Beck, it's an unreal story, and I feel like it's almost just at the beginning. The world is your oyster. Have you seen a lot of competition coming online since you launched all this?
No, I still have no competition, and I'm waiting for it because I know it will come.
Of course.
But no one else is in this space like I am. So my goal is to just really own the space as much as I can before the next competitor comes through, and I'm well known and well established by that point.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but having built those relationships with the key doctors around the world is really standing me in good stead. And because I've gone to them in a very natural way, I'm not selling to them. I'm asking them what their problems are, and I'm solving them for them as practitioners. I'm being useful for them as much as being useful for the patients.
I just want to track back to the doctor thing, and we know you have built a profile, so getting in front of them is easier. But I've written a blog post on getting past the Dobermans. It's not easy, and the Doberman being the executive assistant to the doctor or the receptionist. What do? Do you send a parcel of books? Do you put an email out that says an interview request? How do you get past the Dobermans?
The podcast has been the best door opener I have ever experienced.
Love it.
People love to be interviewed. And
they do. We all want to talk about ourselves.
Exactly. And so I send them emails. there's only one doctor who is an American researcher that I would love to have on, and I'm just not getting anywhere with him. I'm in LA in a couple of days, and I'm almost tempted just to turn up on the doorstep.
Is he just ignoring you?
His assistant is not coming back to me.
I think she's listening on Facebook Live right now.
Yeah,
if you ever
get
want
him
to see,
call me.
yeah.
But what I've been doing is through other doctors who have a relationship with him, they're talking to him about me, saying you must come on her show. So it will be a slow burn, that relationship. But having a podcast, having something that gives them a platform to talk about the work they're doing has been a great door opener.
Yep.
Then I send them a copy of my book, which is signed, saying thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yep.
Then that opens up the discussion of how can I help you? What challenges do you face with your patients? What information do your patients need? What tools do they need to live a better life with SIBO? And following that very kind of basic
Gotcha. Methodology.
Thank you. Has been a great way to create a lot of partnerships that are being very fruitful.
Beck, well done. Good luck
you.
tomorrow. So books launching in the US on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Which one? SIBO Family Favourites, Summer Cookbook?
Yeah, they're both.
Both of them?
They're both going to the States. All my books will go to the States.
What are you doing? A signing at, what does launch mean?
Well, we have a conference that we're attending where all the docs are going to be there.
Yep.
So it's a soft launch. It's really just me being there and having some basic collateral.
Brilliant.
With the view that we'll be launching later in the year. But it's letting them know. It's giving them the advance notice. The books are coming and they can start pre-ordering.
Well done. Thank you so much for sharing, and I wish you all the best for the future.
Thanks for having me on the show.
There you go. The Healthy Guts, Rebecca Coomes. What a great story. What an uplifting story. Now, I do encourage you to have a good snoop around Rebecca's website at thehealthygut.co. Either if you suffer from SIBO or SIBO, I got that wrong every time, or simply want to see her ascending transaction model in action, and also her helpful content. It's a great website. Coming up, I share my top 3 attention grabbers from that fireside chat with Rebecca, plus I've got another low-cost marketing idea for you that you're going to love. But first, here's a little something to create more freedom in your business. Support for this show comes from a very in-tune Cornerstone, an Aussie-owned, family-run offshoring business based in the Philippines. Not only is Cornerstone in tune with the pain points shared by many Aussie business owners, they also have some very in-tune employees. You see, I recently asked a few of them, what's their go-to karaoke song, and would they sing it? Here's what they said. Actually, here's what they sung.
You are the one who makes me happy.
Strangers making the most of the dark. Casual goodbyes by the chill in your embrace, the expression on your face.
Touch me, tease me, until I can't deny this love and feeling.
Minsan lang kitang iibigin.
Cornerstone, where your offshoring experience can hit new heights. To see how you can benefit from offshoring, book a free, no-obligation feasibility assessment now at cornerstonebusinesssolutions.com.au or give them a call on 02 9083 6689 and tell them Timbo sent you. Oh, goodness me. Righto, my top 3 attention grabbers thanks to 52ways.biz. That's 52 ways. And Cornerstone. Attention grabber number 1, create an ascending transaction model. Draw it at the end of this show. Get an A3 piece of paper and draw it out. What can you give away for free in exchange for an email address? And then figure out your product for prospects and your core product offering and put it into action. Attention grabber number 2, helpful marketing works. How many times have I said that? I've written a whole book about it. Just ask Rebecca. She's making it work. If you're not building your profile by sharing your knowledge, then start today. Please, if you don't know how, then read my book, The Boomerang Effect, which you can get over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. I'll send you a signed copy. Don't know whether that makes it any better, but I'll sign it. Attention grabber number 3, partner with influencers. Once you've started to build a treasure chest of helpful content that will get you past the Dobermans, then start knocking on influencers' doors with the aim of having them help promote your products and services, right? This is a classic partnership strategy which you should be utilising. And there's a whole 60-minute webinar on this inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum, in which KPI's Glenn Carlson takes you step by step through how to develop strong partnerships. If you're not a forum member, seriously, get in there. $67 a month. I'm in there every day answering your marketing questions. You got to love that. Plus, there's a host of other motivated small business owners there to support your journey. Hey, what grabbed your attention from my chat with Rebecca Coomes of The Healthy Gut? I'd love to know. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/357.
What have you got to lose?
Righto. It's time for one simple yet effective marketing idea that you can go and implement immediately after you hear it. One that's not going to cost a fortune, if anything, and it might just get you more sales. Hey, imagine that. I call today's idea the warm and fuzzy hack. You know, at some point, your business is going to be in a position where you can give a little back to others. In my experience, it's always been the right move, not just for the outside publicity that comes with supporting a cause, nothing wrong with that, but also the added benefit of boosting employee, customer and supplier morale. So if you're in such a position, and I hope you are, look for opportunities to give back. Here's my 3 steps to creating that warm and fuzzy business feeling. Step 1, decide on a cause to support. I always think that it makes sense to choose one that has some strategic relevance to your business. So, for example, if you're a vet, then you could support an animal shelter, right? Just kind of some relevance. Step 2, once you've picked a cause to partner with, decide how you can help. Options include, obviously, financial donations, donating your time, or donating your products or services. Maybe you could even help promote them to your client base. And step 3 is make a point of making this a permanent part of your marketing strategy. In fact, diarise some involvement with your chosen cause on at least a monthly basis. And here's my pro tip. Don't hesitate to let others know about your involvement. It's good for your business, it builds awareness around your chosen cause, and it might just encourage those around you to also get involved. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/357, where you'll find some additional resources to help you choose your cause, including links to Pro Bono Australia and Volunteering Australia. And if you'd like help implementing any of the ideas I share in this segment, and there's been 22 so far, 22, go ahead and join the Small Business Big Marketing Club over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, where I'll personally support you daily on your marketing journey. So, what have you got to lose? Whew. Well, that was a big show. I think I said that up the front. It's going to be a big show. It was. And that wraps up another episode of the Small Business Big Marketing Show. But don't worry, plenty of marketing gold coming your way in the weeks ahead. Next week, we are joined by Justin Hales, who's gone and created Camplify, the Airbnb for camper vans. Brilliant little business. He's also a cubicle escapee, a corporate refugee, if you like. Another one. Hey, a while back, I chatted with Amanda Stevens on that very difficult topic of marketing to women.
Because women are getting married later and having children later, what we're finding is that throughout their 20s and 30s, they're surrounding themselves with, I guess it's almost a pseudo-family. It's usually 2 or 3 other women. And the interesting thing that more and more research is showing is that it is that inner circle that women are relying on for advice, recommendations and information about new products and services. So particularly for small businesses, this is such a great opportunity, because it means that when you're marketing and selling to women, you're often not just marketing and selling to them, you're also marketing and selling to their inner circle. So it becomes a multi-layered sales opportunity.
Oh, I do love a good inner circle dynamic. You can hear my full interview with Amanda, plus hundreds more, over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, or subscribe free on iTunes or your favourite podcast catcher. Hey, I'd love to hear from you. Email me, tim@timreid, reid.com.au. Go on, do it now. Just say hi. I respond to them all. Hey, be sure to grab a free seat at Dale Beaumont's 52 Ways events that will be touring Australia and New Zealand in May, June and August this year. I'll certainly be heading to the Melbourne one. Hope to see you there. Simply go to 52 Ways, that's 52ways.biz, and grab your seat now because they are limited. And check out Cornerstone if the idea of reducing your running costs by 70+% excites the hell out of you. Why wouldn't it? Or maybe you want to come on my 4th Create Freedom Through Outsourcing tour to the Philippines in May 2017. Seats are filling up. There is only 10. Would love to see you on it. Head over to cornerstonebusinesssolutions.com.au to find out more. Hey, if you love the Small Business Big Marketing Show, go and tell another business owner that could do with a little bit of marketing love. Maybe even grab their phone and download it into their podcast app immediately. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid, always have been, always will be. Thanks for tuning in to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.